Welcome to Formosa Dream Chasers.
We're your hosts, Mary Ann
and Qing'en.
Please join us as we explore the journeys amazing people take in pursuit of their dreams
and get insights from their experiences.
Let's hit the road
and get started. Welcome to Formosa Dream Chasers. Today we continue our conversation with Alex Khomenko, a Ukrainian currently living in Taiwan. In previous episodes, Alex shared how he began advocating for peace in Ukraine shortly after moving to Taiwan, following Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022. Alex is one of the founding members of the advocacy group Taiwan Stands With Ukraine, which regularly organizes cultural events and protests to garner support for Ukraine here in Taiwan. In this final part of our conversation, Alex will discuss upcoming cultural events they are planning for this year, as well as reflect on some of the most memorable moments throughout his journey.
And beyond that, the next thing we're looking forward to is the European Festival that happens every spring, usually in May. The European office puts together a festival of European culture and food usually in the Huashan Creative Park. And for the last 3 years, they have invited us to participate. And that has always been our biggest fundraising event of the year because it's a 2-day festival. It's very well attended. It's very popular. And so that's going to happen in a couple of months. And hopefully we'll get an invite again. And I think we'll be looking forward to that one as well.
For our audience who may be listening and who is interested in helping and supporting, what can they do? How can they become involved? And for the events you mentioned, do you have like a web post or where can they look it up?
Yeah, everything we do is promoted through our social media. It's Taiwan Stands With Ukraine on both Facebook and Instagram. And those are the main channels where we publish information about our events. What can people do? It's a great question. The simplest thing that anybody can do to support is educate themselves and educate their friends. And I think, for example, listening to this kind of interview, I think is a great way to start understanding how Ukrainians view what is happening and the history of it. And look for sources like this to drive your understanding, right? There are Ukrainians in Taiwan who speak Mandarin, who do things on social media and beyond and give interviews to also try to spread the word about the situation in Ukraine and what we do here. So look for those sources, not somebody on Facebook who's reposting something that probably came from a Russia or CCP-funded bot farm somewhere, because we saw that on our own pages. Suddenly, after the recent events with the American involvement in trying to help Ukraine, hopefully in some way, but the narratives of America sold you out, all those comments started appearing on our Facebook posts, overnight. And, some of them could be sentiments of real people. A lot of them are probably bot farms, right? Because just literally overnight, we've never had those comments before. And then suddenly they're all over there posting and commenting on our pages, right? So get educated, look to primary sources, right? Ukrainian or Taiwanese that, have real experience, have gone to Ukraine, Taiwanese journalists who've gone to Ukraine and done things there. Look for those sources to educate yourself on what is going on, how Ukrainians look at it. That's number one. Because without that, the propaganda battle can be lost overnight, right? If people are sitting there and reposting, whatever they see on Facebook about, Zelensky has a $40 million palace in Italy or whatever, things like that just spread like wildfire on the internet. And so resist that and try to understand what is really going on. So that's number one. Number two, of course, if you're in Taipei and you can come to our events, please come. People love the food. Hopefully they'll love the dancing. The European Festival is always very well attended, and we try to do as much as we can there and have both merchandise that we bring from Ukraine, things that volunteers here make. We have Taiwanese who make things, Ukrainian-themed things, and donate them to us for sale. And then we try to make as much food as possible as well. So that's always a wonderful event in springtime. Hopefully we'll be there. And then if you can donate, you can donate at our events, or you can, you can find plenty of channels for donating to Ukraine. There are well-established charities and platforms there, so you can find that as well. And I would also just always want to mention that the Taiwanese government has supported Ukraine from day one of the full-scale invasion. The presidential office, the legislature, there were quite a few legislators as well. And that has helped us to feel supported and to do what we do here. And they just recently reiterated that they're continuing to support Ukraine. They're continuing to allocate money towards helping Ukraine, even though Ukraine does not have a strong relationship with Taiwan at the government level, right? Because Ukraine does not have an office here. And I think during the war, it's just something that's really difficult for Ukraine to do. We certainly, with our efforts, we're constantly pushing Ukraine to recognize that Taiwan is a democratic partner that supports them. And we hope that over time, that relationship will strengthen. But the Taiwanese government is continuing to find ways with their European partners, Lithuania, Czech Republic, Poland, Estonia, who actually work in Ukraine to help fund projects, fund help, medical help, educational help, rebuilding parts of Ukraine. And for that, we're incredibly grateful as well.
Hey guys, do you know RTI is not only on shortwave?
Aside from our website, we are also on most social media platforms. We are on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram.
Search Radio Taiwan International on Facebook.
Type in Radio Taiwan _ENG on Twitter
And RTI English for YouTube and Instagram.
to learn more about Taiwan's local news, culture, and find out about our feature stories.
Remember to like, follow, and subscribe to be the most up-to-date possible. Throughout all the work you've done in the past 3 years, do you have specific memorable moments during this whole process?
I mean, many, but the ones that always stick with me are when I'm standing on that corner, with my flag and donation box. And it's just I've had so many interactions with people, right? People who come and just want to help. And words of support, people just stopping by, people who you could see that they don't have a lot of money, like some agong on a bicycle, clearly a worker, coming back from a construction job wearing a dirty t-shirt and, just the kind of person that is just really the most working class person you can imagine. Would stop and look at us, look at our sign, and just pull out, 500 NT, give them to us without a second thought and say, Wukalan Jayo, and drive off. Kids who come to donate. Just so many interactions. I'm there twice a week for 3 years. Just countless interactions like that where people just support from the heart and they say things from the heart that are supportive. Those are number one for me. And then, of course, plenty of other moments. I got a chance with Olga. We got invited together with a Taiwanese medical delegation that went to Ukraine. We went to the presidential office and we got to meet President Tsai Ing-wen and, thank her. She was there to honor the Taiwan medical team that went to Ukraine. And we got to thank her personally and thank the Taiwanese government for the support. So that was, of course, a huge highlight. You don't get chances like that very often. So that's another one that sticks out.
Okay. I'm getting teary-eyed myself because I find the Taiwanese people to be, not just because of their support of Ukraine, but generally I just find Taiwanese people to be very warm-hearted and caring people. So I'm also getting teary-eyed right now. Yeah. Okay. Before we wrap up, is there anything else you would like to add or share with our audience?
No, I just want to say thank you to everybody who has supported us, whether in spirit or in person, and we hope that more people will do that. And I always just want to say I speak for myself, but I think a lot of Ukrainians that I know personally share that sentiment, that we're just incredibly grateful to Taiwan for everything. The opportunity to be here, to study, to work, to live in a free, democratic society where we can go out and protest, We can do whatever we want without any fear of being oppressed. And for all the help we've been getting here, for all the concerns and care, I think we all love Taiwan, and we hope that the links between our countries will deepen and strengthen, and we hope that more and more Ukrainians will be able to come to Taiwan and to contribute to the society here. So I and others, we're all just really grateful. 谢谢 Taiwan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alex,
Thank
for
you
your
for your
time. Yeah, and for giving us a deeper perspective about the situation
Thank you
about
for
Ukraine.
having me.
Yes.
That wraps up our chat with Alex Khomenko. Alex mentioned that the Taiwanese government has consistently supported Ukraine since the war broke out in 2022. For example, Taiwan's foreign ministry launched a fundraising campaign in the same year to provide both direct and indirect financial assistance to Ukraine. According to the Relief Disaster Foundation, Taiwan raised over $31.8 million in just 1 year. These funds were donated directly to the Ukrainian government and NGOs, while the Taiwanese government also collaborated with Ukraine's neighboring countries to carry out various projects aimed at supporting Ukrainian refugees. Additionally, the funds were used for emergency medical aid, daily supplies, technological support, education, psychological counseling, and more. Taiwan's civil society has also played a significant role in aiding Ukraine over the past 3 years. Local entrepreneurs and philanthropists have repeatedly volunteered to donate essential items and refurbished ambulances to Ukraine. In 2024, during a donation ceremony, former legislative speaker of Taiwan, Yu Xikun, praised the courage and resilience of the Ukrainian people in their fight against Russian aggression. He described the humanitarian efforts initiated by Taiwanese civil society as a reflection of the empathy and care shown by the people of Taiwan. He also emphasized that offering a helping hand and standing in solidarity with those in need is essential for bringing peace and preventing further conflict. Although the war has not yet ended, efforts toward peace continue, with Taiwan Stands With Ukraine raising public awareness on various occasions. Now, we would like to share a Ukrainian song, Shum, performed by volunteers and participants during a Ukrainian Food Day event organized by Taiwan Stands With Ukraine. The song is performed by the band Go A, which represented Ukraine in the Eurovision Song Contests in 2021. The band's lead singer, Katerina, shared with Eurovision that the song was inspired by Ukrainian mythology and folklore with a touch of dark techno. She further explained that the song conveys a message of hope, calling for unity towards a common goal to achieve something meaningful and important. Should we listen to the song together? This is Go A's Shum, covered by Taiwan Stands With Ukraine.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
'Zapletemo, góra, Thank you so much. So much fun. Nice. Thank you. Great job. So cool.
This is Ching and Cho.
And Mary Ann Shoko.
See you guys next week. Bye.
Hey, it's Michelle, your host of Geek Out, where you can listen in on people's passions in Taiwan and around the world every Thursday. What's your cup of tea, tickles your fancy, or floats your boat? Geek Out guests get up close and personal on topics from Dungeons & Dragons to mental health awareness to herpetology, and so much more. Thanks for listening to Radio Taiwan International. Check out Geek Out and a plethora of other awesome shows on the website at en.rti.org.tw. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. See you there!
You're tuning in to Radio Taiwan International, Taiwan's national broadcaster. Here at RTI, we have a range of entertaining and informative content for you to enjoy. You can find all of our content on our website at en.rti.org.tw. That's en.rti.org.tw for news, shows, and more. We're also on shortwave radio. If you're residing in South Asia, we broadcast from 1600 to 1700 UTC at 9405 kilohertz. From all of us here at RTI, we wish you a lovely day.